Hey everybody, so we got the Wheeler 123 crit. This is August 8th, 2017. A few little highlights from the race and stuff. So anyway, just getting started off. Rob's back there with his skating behind us. Anyway, yeah, pretty good, pretty nice, pretty much perfect weather, I guess you could say. So definitely better than racing in the 95 to 100 degree heat. So it was definitely pretty nice. So anyways, rolling along, and I did the Masters race before this one, so got a nice little pre-warm up in, and I don't know, it's kind of weird looking at my power numbers after the race. It was pretty good, but I had put a new crank on. That I have a cork, and I had one of the pedal inserts was starting to come out of my crank, so SRAM sent me another crank there, took care of it, and so I put it on. And there's always this thing anytime you switch your chain rings or take the cork spider, put it on one crank to another, there's like a little bit of a seat in time, or it's going to give you some kind of high or low readings till you stomp on it a few times. And kind of got in a hurry trying to get out to the races to make it to that first race, and barely made it on time, so didn't even really get too much of a warm-up. And then just throughout the evening didn't get a chance to ever recalibrate it, so I don't know. Looks cool on when you look at it on Strava or whatever, but I would estimate it's probably about, I don't know, 10 to 15% high maybe. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, we're going here, and Stefan had kind of taken off early, so Evan was pretty much up front, just drilling it. We were all pretty single file there for a while, so I think once we catch Stefan, it kind of all bunches back together here, and yeah, that's what it looks like now. I think a few other dudes kind of rolled away, looks like there, so these guys take off to bridge up to them. And so here's Rob skating. Guess we finally put him a lap down. Pretty rare to put Rob a lap down. Anyway, we catch him. I had a bunch of momentum, so I just got on it, took off here, decided to, whatever, see what happens. So, I pretty much edited this part out, but basically I rode along for I think about 6 laps, and then Stefan bridged up, and we rode around for a few more laps, and then Evan, Andy, and Schlegel bridged up to us, and then I don't know, at some point Schlegel and Andy, they weren't there anymore at some point, and so just me, Stefan, and Evan rolled around for 15-20 minutes or so, and then probably about, I don't know, close to 30 minutes in, this is kind of, as I think we pretty much knew we were getting caught at this time. These guys, we went pretty good, or, I don't know. I thought we were going to be gone once it was us three here, but we ended up getting caught again. So we're just kind of sitting up a little bit here, and they're bridging, the group is bridging up to us here at this point. So I figured once we got caught, there's somebody would attack or whatever, and I don't know, Chad just kind of, rolls, didn't really attack, he just kind of rolls away, and nobody was really too interested in going with him. So I'm just kind of sitting here, and I'm like, well, let these guys, I've been out there for a while, let these guys do whatever. And so you'll see, kind of one by one, a couple guys jump up. I think Evan goes and bridges up, so looks like Brandon Jackson's kind of semi-chasing here. But, just like content, like, oh, let Chad get up there and, kind of see what happens. Still have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth from 2 or 3 weeks ago when we kind of got team tactic, rather than the old Wheeler style where everybody just chases everybody down. So, I kind of just pulled over here and let some of these other, rather than get up front. So, there's some guys starting to chase here a little bit or whatever. Looks like Schlegel just kind of took off there, and I don't know. So it's kind of a reversal, it's like Norman and Trevor were kind of there, trying to. It's like Evan just took off, and so a few guys trying to bridge up there. To kind of observe what these guys are going to do, make them chase if they wanted to bring any of that, bring that last move back. So I don't know, it's kind of nice when you can turn the tables on somebody a little bit. I don't know, so pretty good here for a second. Looks like there's a few guys that tried to bridge up that are coming back. So I think ended up being just Evan and Stefan there eventually. There's just the two of them got away. So now these guys are really chasing, and so, at this point I just, I'm kind of screwing up their, I don't know, whatever, their chase sitting on. So, I don't know, I think I get the old, elbow flick here, and, I don't know, this is a little bit of a controversy that comes up here in a bit, but, One thing with the whole elbow flick thing, it's more of a suggestion to, it depends on the group, chase group or whatever, or group ride, whatever. It's a typical sign you're ready to pull off, and so, but it's not you don't have to pull through if you don't want to. I mean, it's kind of the gentlemanly thing to do, I guess you could say. But sometimes in races, just because you flick your elbow doesn't necessarily mean somebody's not going to work within your group. They don't have to necessarily pull through. So at this point, I'm going to let these guys chase this back. It's like Brandon kind of just got caught up in the crossfire here, but so he's obviously skipping pulls here and just sitting on. So, I don't know. Just wanted to give these guys a little taste of, sure, everybody's had it done to them and everybody's done it to other people. So, whatever. I don't necessarily like to do it, but, I feel like it's kind of a chump move. But I don't know, that's how it's going. So we're chasing, and we were actually, they were weren't too far up. I think at this point it may have been just Stefan and, well, I know Chad was up there for a little bit with them, and at some point Chad it's like Leo might have been up there with them and came back just then, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, at some point here, just letting these guys do the work. But here at some point, it's kind of hard to see up ahead with this video footage, but I think Chad ends up coming back to us, and so then it's just Evan and Stefan up there. So I figured whenever, you know, whenever I saw Chad and he comes back, I was like, well, I'll start either, you know, whatever. So yeah, there's Chad. So you know, at that point it's kind of like, well, you know, we got all our teammates here. Well, you know, since we're going team tactics style, I decided to attack these dudes one time just to kind of see what happens. Not really too much. I think me and Cody got away for just a brief moment, and then it kind of just came all back together again. But you know, after this, I was, you know, willing to work with, you know, just chase down Evan and Stefan or whatever. Like I'd made my point, I guess, at that by this point, I guess you could say. So we're rolling along here. Just got done chasing, and so I don't know if you can tell from the video, the wind was kind of out of the, I'd say, the east northeast. So you know, we're kind of heading maybe southeast-ish here, and typically the way you're gonna sit on somebody's wheel, you're going to be staggered over to the right a little bit when you know, as you come down this straightaway here. So like you're set off to the right, you get a little draft, and as you're coming through here, it's like at that point you're straight headwind, and then from this point you're going to stagger, you know, kind of over to the left, you know, to stay out of the wind, basically. Pretty simple concept to comprehend. So so it's one of those things whenever you you know, set up. It was kind of a little thing on the last Wheeler video I made, you know, as far as going into corners or doing whatever. This was a little bit of a controversial move here. So at some point Trevor says he flicks his elbow for me to pull through, which honestly I never saw it. But anyway, so we're staggered. There's guys staggered over to the right as well as me. So you know, I don't know if there was a little miscommunication. I almost overlapped his wheel right there. So pretty much it ended up causing a big, you know, causing a wreck. I think Brandon Jackson went down pretty hard, and a couple other guys got involved. So I don't know. It was one of those, we discussed it for a couple laps, and the whole thing was, well, he flicked his elbow and I didn't pull through. So, and I think he's used to taking that corner wide like that when there's a south wind, so it's total different situation. But if people are high-sided to that end of you, then you don't want to, you know, that's kind of a dangerous move to do that and put everybody off into the, you know, especially the way that corner, they're doing a bunch of dirt work, so it kind of drops off and there's a bunch of dirt and mud and stuff over there. So but anyway, yeah, that's that. And this is basically, so there's basically just us four dudes. I think everybody got either, you know, the guys that were still back there just ended up stopping or got caught up when in that wreck or whatever. So it was basically just us four dudes here. We're taking 3 laps to go. And about this point I kind of just sat on again, you know, try to just kind of set up for the finish. I'm not, you know, whatever, looking to take any big pulls or anything. So yeah, this kind of just the finale of the deal. It looked like I was kind of watching up ahead, and it looked like Evan had jumped, and kind of him and Stefan were kind of separated a little bit, but Evan was pretty close to you know, getting ready to take the 2 to go. That would have been the time right there for Trevor to attack. I don't think he knew he had a little gap, but yeah, so anyway, we're just rolling through, taking the 2 to go. Hear him ringing the bell just slightly after that Evan's taking 1 to go. So Yeah, he almost lapped us. Trevor's gonna give it a go there, so he attacked, and it's pretty easy to, you know, just going into a headwind here, it's pretty easy to get back onto his wheel, so I don't know. But, you know, last lap wise, that's probably the best, you know, if you can get away, that's probably the best place to make it happen right there, so you just let him lead it out there, taking the one to go at the bail lap. So, you know, I'm just kind of sitting ready. Figured he'd probably try to go at the same time, and you know, whatever. I figured I, you know, could out-sprint him either which way, so as long as I was, you know, I kind of thought Norman would be coming around here at some point, so I was kind of ready for either one of them. Just wanted to stay positioned when either of them jumped, so, you know, there he goes, and, you know, pretty much right at this point I knew I had him, because, you know, he's putting in a huge dig right here, and I'm not going that hard at all, so decided to go for the inside, and kind of tried to close the door on me right there, but had enough room to get through, and so ended up getting final podium spot, getting third, and so pretty good day overall, pretty fun, perfect weather, so yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.